An algebraic expression is no equal sign. No equal sign. There is no answer. It is just numbers and variables. An algebraic expression has no answer. We're not solving for x. We are not solving for x. We are just going to take a mess of numbers and letters and we're going to sort it and make it look nice. No equal sign, no answer. An example of an algebraic expression is, let's see, ones we'll work with. They get much more complicated. The one we're going to start with is 21 minus 8 parentheses v plus 3 close parentheses plus 3 plus 7 v. That's the first one we're going to work with. My first step. So my goal is to take this, organize it, make it look nice, and literally simplify it down. Because this is messy, and there's a lot here. So the first thing I need to do, 6th grade, I need to change any subtraction to plus a negative. Or add the opposite. So change, subtract, to add the opposite. Because when you start working these out, if you lose where your negative numbers are, everything's wrong. Because if it was a negative at the beginning, it has to stay a negative through the whole process. Or else it's wrong. So I see one subtraction. So this needs to be plus a negative 8. So that everything I do with this 8, I know that that is a negative 8. When I multiply by that 8, it's negative 8. When I add with the 8, it's negative 8. So that's the first step. Second step. Step 2. If you have, step 2 is distribute. Step 2 is distribute. What that means is if there is a number being multiplied by something in parentheses, this right here means that there are negative 8 groups of v plus 3. So that's a negative group of v plus 3, a negative group of v plus 3, v plus 3, v plus 3, 8 times. So I have to represent that. So I'm going to do this negative 8 times v, which anytime a number is multiplied, that's negative 8 v's. So if that's negative 8 times a v, that's negative 8 v's. Negative 8 v. And then negative 8 times 3 is, it's negative 8 times 3. Yeah, negative 24. So that's plus negative 24. So that all just comes down. So I've distributed that 8. Everything else needs to be recopied. So this was a 21 plus that negative 8v, and then plus 3 plus 7v. Nothing went away. I just passed out that 8. Step 3. We're going to combine like terms. Let's say combine variables. Now, sidestep real quick. If I have you don't have to write this part down. If what I'm about to say doesn't make sense to you, maybe. If I have 4a plus 2a plus 4b plus 6c's, how many a's do I have? 6 a's. How many b's do I have? 4 b's. And then c's? 6 c's. I can't join these together because this 6a and 4b does not make 10 a's. These are a's and these are b's. And this is c's. A's go with other a's, b's go with other b's, c's go with other c's. Okay, does that make, we're good with that? Okay, so in the same way that a's go with a's and b's go with b's, if I had 5c plus 2c plus 10, 5c's plus 2c's is how many c's? 7 c's. And then what's left? 10. That's not 17 c's. I had 7 c's and then 10. So when I say combine variables, I mean 5 c's plus 2 c's is 7 c's. Yes?
Wait, so for 4a, 2a, and then 4b and 6c?
Yes.
Can't you add 6c to the 6c on the bottom?
Well, yeah, but if those are two separate problems.
No, I'm talking about the 6c.
This C?
Yeah.
What about it?
Never mind. Not chat about it.
Okay, sorry. Why we gotta be loud in the hall? Okay. Oh, sorry. Was somebody still writing? My goal today is for you to get comfortable working with this stuff, because tomorrow we'll start solving equations. But if you're not comfortable with the A's and the B's and the C's, then it's not easy.
I'm comfortable with it.
Good. So combining variables. I see V's. I have let's put boxes around the variables. Negative 8 V's, and I have 7 V's. I've got negative 8 V's and 7 V's. That means, well, so how many V's do you have? Negative 1 V. Negative 1 V. Now, we don't have to put a 1 there because that's redundant. We know that that's 1 V because it only has 1 V. So it's just negative V.
Oh, wait, can you just erase the 1 then?
You can.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
keep it there. 'Cause I'm
Why is everybody in the hall being so loud? Correct. Just like V is 1 V. But we don't say 1 V, we just say V. So then, once I've got my variables grouped together, now I can combine the rest of the stuff, which is numbers. So circle all of the numbers. We've got 21, we have negative 24, and we have positive 3. I circle with this sign in front of it so I know what it is, because we're just going to combine them together to see what happens. So 21, negative 24, and 3. What does that equal?
6. No, I'm almost there.
0. What's 21 plus 3? And then 24 and a negative 24 is 0. So then the absolute last thing you need to do, we're going to write it proper. Variables come first. Combine variables, combine numbers. Variables come first when you write it. And if there's more than one variable, they're alphabetical. So like B would come before X. You would go X, Y, then Z. A, B, then C. F, G, H. A, F, Z. Alphabetical. And then if you're feeling up to it, I'm just going to put clean up your signs. When I say clean up signs, it's not proper in your answer to say plus a negative. You just want to say minus. So instead of saying 2a plus negative 6, this part right here, you don't want to have two signs together. You would want to change that to say 2a minus 6. When you're working it out, it's easier if you tag that negative to the 6 so you don't lose it. But when you clean it up in the end, you don't want to have two signs next to each other because it gets messy.
So
It's redundant.
negative 6 plus 2a.
Correct. You want to put the a's first because variables come first. Now, if it was the negative 2a, you wouldn't change that. It would just say negative 2a. This is the only time you're going to clean that up, is because of this stuff right here. This is good. This is bad. As a final answer only. That is the last thing you do. And honestly, if that you feel like that would be confusing to you, then if you did this, I will still take that as a good answer for today. All right, let's try one. This one's fun. I think all of these are fun. All right. I love this. This is one of my absolute favorite things in math. Because there's no real answer, you're just making messy things clean. All right, here's the next one. If you've got 3 parentheses, D minus 4, close parentheses, plus 2, minus 2D, plus 1, minus D. 3 parentheses, D minus 4, close parentheses, plus 2, minus 2D, plus 1, minus D. So the first thing I have to do, what's step 1?
Change the subtraction to add opposite.
Good. So I see 3 subtraction signs.
D minus 4.
So that's going to be plus negative 4. This is going to be plus negative 2D. And this is going to be plus negative D.
Wait, plus negative what?
D.
Oh, I thought it was 10.
No.
Oh,
What's the second step? Distribute. Do I have a number that can be distributed? 3. So this is going to be 3 times D, which is 3D. So you have 3 Ds. 3 times negative 4. Negative 12, so that's plus negative 12. Okay, everything else stays there. So I still have plus 2. I still have plus negative 2D. I still have plus 1. And I still have plus negative D. Okay, what's step 3?
Combine variables.
Combine variables. How many times do you see the letter D? 3. So I've got 3D here. I'm going to put a box around my variables. 3D, a negative 2D, and a negative D.
Negative D means like negative.
1D, correct. There's a 1 here. So how many is that? 0. So we have 0. They all canceled each other out. That is a 0D. Now, that means 0. But I'm going to say 0D so you know that it didn't just disappear when I write my answer. This 3 minus 2 minus 1 is 0. So they all canceled out.
Are we allowed to like erase them from the problem or no?
No. You want to leave those there, but you'll see. So then what's step 4? Combine my numbers. So I have circle negative 12. Make sure you circle the negative with it. Make sure you circle the plus sign with that 2. And circle the plus sign with that 1. So you've got negative 12. Plus 2 is
Negative 10.
plus 1.
Negative 9.
So we have 9 negatives, or negative 9. So my overall final answer is negative 9.
But there is no answer.
There is not.
So it's negative 9?
It does simplify to just negative 9. So all of this mess right here just means negative 9.